Okay. Well, welcome everybody. I'm David Clutterbuck, and along with my colleagues Ray Charles and Craig McKenzie, we're going to be talking about rapid teaming. Before we do that, I'll let Ray and Craig introduce themselves. Ray.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Rapid Teaming. My name is Dr. Ray Charles. I am the CEO of the KIP Group. KIP is an acronym for Keep Investing in People. And what a topic for us to discuss today, where we invest in people via teaming. Correct? Back at you.
Thanks, Ray. Thanks, David. I'm a director at Transcend International, and I do a tremendous amount of work in team coaching alongside David, and formerly Global Team Coaching Institute, and presently Clutterbuck Coaching and Mentoring International. And rapid teaming, a lot of my work has been in Asia, as I was based there for over 20 years. And everybody, well, I think not just Asia, but everywhere around the world wants everything faster, quicker, and better. And that's what rapid teaming is all about, getting the team into that place of performance and effectiveness at a much quicker pace. So the world's ready for it, but there also needs to be that aspect of quality. So really excited, David, to have this conversation with you.
Absolutely.
I think one of the things that first switched me on to the concept of rapid teaming was in sport, going to a rugby barbarians match. Where you've got to where the sides, but either both sides or one side, is made up of people who may never have played together before, and yet they come together seamlessly. They know what to do. They become a machine together, and I found it quite fascinating. How does this happen? And so just looking at some of the mechanisms behind this, it's all about knowing how to slot in quickly, to relate to everybody around you, having the collective purpose and a number of routines or processes that link you together effectively. So when we look at this in the workplace, this is it's obvious that we, as everything speeds up, we need to speed up the forming of teams. And so many people rely on this idea of forming, storming, norming to performing, as if you can take months and months to get a team go through all this stuff. Nobody's got the time for that anymore. Even if it were actually academically or proven, which it's not. It's basically a bit of a myth. It was created as a concept primarily out of the experiences of groups of people in therapy for depression and other mental disorders. That's not what we should be basing what we want to happen in high-performing teams in our organizations. For me, there are four big areas or aspects to this. The first thing is just creating a brand new team. Everybody's come together. Nobody's really worked together, or very few of them understand each other. You bring them together. How do you actually get them to get over the suspicions, the not really sure how I'm going to contribute, who is everybody else? How do you truncate that to literally a matter of hours rather than days or months or more? The second thing is, if you've got a team that's already established, and you've got new members coming into it, it's very often they can be floating around. How do I fit in? This is culture already established, and it's not quite the culture I've been used to. How do I contribute to this? Do I say when do I say the wrong thing? And so how do I use my naivety? Is it okay to say, why the heck do we do this? And so forth. So that the integrating of new members into existing teams is the second big area, I think, of rapid teaming. And then you've got the situation where the newcomer is actually the team leader. Now, he or she will desperately need to maintain the best of what's been there before, but bring their own special brand and their own intuition and their own vision into that situation. Now, that can be incredibly disruptive, particularly, I mean, we've seen not lovely examples, but we've seen many examples of major cultural clashes. So I recall one, for example, between somebody from, I think, Holland and somebody from, coming into an environment in Russia, and trying to behave in an open and an inclusive way and ask people's opinions. And the people that he was working with all thought he was a terrible leader, and ignored, basically said he must be very weak if he doesn't know what to do and tell us how we should operate. So all of those, that difference, knowing how to step into an existing culture and help to change it around without spending, again, enormous amounts of time in doing it. And there's another aspect which often gets forgotten, but I think is equally important. When you create a new team, or you amend a new team with a new leader, it's almost like a cell in the body. It's got lots of little bits on it that link with other cells. Now, if you've changed the shapes of those linkages, then it may become out of alignment with all the other cells around it. And so this fourth area for me is really about helping the team to change and evolve rapidly, but at the same time remain aligned with the system around it. So these are four big challenges, but we have now the technology and the methodology to be able to help teams to tackle those. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this, and maybe we should just sum up with one key point that we'd like to leave people with. For me, I think it's the fact that team or rapid teaming is, I think, going to be an essential part of any organization's armory for the future. It is. I think it's essential now, because without it, you're going to get left behind. Everything else is gathering apace. The technology is speeding up all the time. Societal change is an environmental change. If we don't have a similar evolution of the speed of doing things within teams, but appropriate speed, because you can go too fast and fall over. So it's got to be managed speed. So I think we have to put this as a very high priority on the organizational to-do list.
Wow. David, there's so much talk today about operating in a VUCA environment. VUCA: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. There's also talk also about the type of leader that is required in today's environment. And so we hear a lot of talk about adaptive leadership and disruptive leadership. When you triangulate those three, adaptive leadership, disruptive leadership, VUCA environment, there's a certain speed that goes along with that. And so it's not a choice of whether or not companies will be engaged in rapid teaming. What we bring is effective rapid teaming.
Yeah.
Correct?
I'm just trying to sum up thinking and value around this is, I think that, and we didn't emphasize this a lot, but one of the big things that is necessary for rapid teaming to work is this team learning, organization learning. What kind of teams do they need in order to sustain growth, progress, and then also learning about adaptation and inflection points where they need to change, maybe where they missed the boat, and also leveraging the experience of new people and older people in the team. So I mean, I've worked with this for years. I've always felt excited about it. I feel even more inspired by the current, it's just the level of change and the level of adaptability that's required. And also the fact that, and this is something we haven't really mentioned, is the team is the place where people connect, engage, are supported, are loved, are cared for within the organization. And that's a big part of performance and effectiveness. So, helping the team to establish and develop itself and create that rapid team structure within organizations is such a powerful way to increase engagement as well as performance, which of course they're correlated, as well as psychological safety is correlated to performance and effectiveness. So, it's establishing these core elements that enable you to leverage, attract, retain, maximize the talent that we have, and move them on within the organizations. So wonderful. That was accentuated by a crack of thunder. So I guess I said something useful.
So thank you, Craig. Thank you, Ray, as well, for joining me in this wonderful conversation.